Good evening and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting. It is June 3rd, 2025. It is 6 p.m. I call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. If everyone will please rise for the prayer and the pledge. Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, we just ask that you would bless this board, bless this city, bless Tennessee, be with our men and women all across the nation who defend our country and fight for freedom. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, we have approved the minutes from the May 1st, 2025 workshop and May 6th, 2025 regular meeting. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from Alderwoman Haas. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Coates. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We've got no one signed up for the public comment period. Moving on to departmental reports. Chief Mays.
All right, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen, Alderwomen. So you have the report before you. A lot of green, a lot of good stuff. So I'm really pleased with, the numbers and how they're panning out from the month to the current month. One of the incidents that has seen an increase is domestic assaults. It's very difficult for us to have any patrol strategies that are going to influence crimes that are occurring within the home. We can only hope to respond and provide the best services to the victims and families that we can. The homicides, that is a little alarming that it went up 200%. We had 0 last month. We had 2 this month, but it was and I'm not trying to minimize either one of these incidents, but one was a hit and run that Tennessee Highway Patrol handled off of Old Nashville Highway, and the second one involved I'm just drawing a blank now, but it was also handled by, I think it was the shooting on the freeway that was handled by the county sheriff. So, and actually I believe in the initial reports that homicide probably occurred in Smyrna and traveled into Laverne. So, when you look at crime, May 2024 to 2025, again, lots of green. The only thing that we have an increase in is the assaults, including domestic assaults and the thefts. Vehicle burglaries and motor vehicle thefts continue to be an issue here in our yearly totals from 2024 to 2025. I think we're going to see an impact in this through our Safe Streets initiative. Many of you, were very happy with that operation and how it went. We got a lot of positive input from the community from that, and we made a lot of positive contacts. So we are currently choosing a date in June and looking to also set one in July and August so that we can notify our partners so that we can get those going again. So we will be very, very aggressive with those efforts again. We're going to open up our survey again, asking for more input from the community, and then try to overlap that with the data again and move these initiatives around in terms of the time of day and day of week. Proactivity, we have all green there. Calls for services up 9.6%. DUI arrests are up, and recovered stolen vehicles are up over 30%. So overall, I'm very pleased with the data that we have for this month. I'd like to entertain any questions that you might have about the data or about the Operation Safe Streets.
Does anyone have any questions?
So, thank you for doing the town hall. It was very informative. When you open or reopen the survey, are you all looking at other avenues to make sure that it gets out to the community better than just social media?
Yes, yeah, we were I was very pleased to hear from the community in regards to that. We'll still have social media available, but we're going to try to do it through our website. So if anybody is a member of the public that does not have access to a computer or the internet in their home, they can always go to the library, use the public computers there, and log into the city website and answer the survey there as well. We're going to try to have a paper form that might be in our lobby, or we could put it in the lobby at City Hall. They could fill that out, and quite simply, we're just going to take those anonymous paper surveys and go to an internet source, and we're going to input them in so that all the data is in one place.
Bruce, can you get with Chief and let's create a QR code that we can post in each of our buildings so that any resident who's coming through can just scan it with their phone. 9 times out of 10, people have phones, and it can take them right to the survey. And we can also, if we print out some of them, we can put them up around at some of our local businesses like Walmart and Kroger.
That's a great idea. We can work on that.
Any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Fire Department, Chief Beasley, welcome back, sir.
Thank you for the welcome back. It was tough to shave and head eastbound from the western side of the United States. I trust that each one of y'all have had the opportunity to review the monthly report for the fire department. You can see we still continue, Vice Mayor knows, you pointed out last month, I mean, the trends stay the same, and statistics truly don't lie. We've used a tremendous amount of water that was not reported yet, but it would be. We've been running some training classes put on by the State Fire Academy with pump operations, and we've flowed 480,000 gallons of water in about a week's period. Tremendous amount of training going on within the department right now. We got the recruit class going on. We got 2 new hires, and we got 4 of our high school apprentices going through the program right now that we hope to see good things from them. And then we also have a partnership again with town of Smyrna, where we're training 7 of their recruits as well, our partnership with that. So we are an extremely busy department right now. Yesterday, we hosted the zebra and some kids over at the park for a water party. So, do y'all have any questions about anything that the fire department's doing right now?
So tell us a little bit more about yesterday's activities.
It was a great time. I don't know how many children were there. I know that we partnered with David McGowan in the parks. How many did we have, Dave? I don't want to steal your. It was a great day. I mean, you put kids in a park with water, I don't think you can go wrong. I was happy to see that. And of course, did you corral the zebra?
Well, 101 with the zebra.
Okay. So,
I can't believe you had good weather with David being involved.
well, we brought the water this time. Any other questions?
Thank you, Chief. Parks and Recreation, Mr. David McGowan.
So I get to follow that now.
We can always
Vice
put,
Mayor, Board, thank you. You guys have the parks numbers for the month. You see 98 help desk tickets, almost 630 hours devoted to those. Past events, which was yesterday, was the big wave at the park from 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Like Chief said, we probably had about 100 people there, 101 counting our mascot. Big shout out to the fire department, and I can't take credit for planning that, Vice Mayor, so that's on Kathy. Maybe we need to let her pick the dates from now on. Great weather, couldn't ask for better turnout. Upcoming events, June the 6th is our second workshop at the multipurpose building. That's Learning Made Fun, Back to the Basics, it's auto mechanics. That's our mascot there. I cannot guarantee he will be there. We had him for about 15 minutes to get that photo, and then he was gone, so we took advantage of it while we had it. June 13th is family movie night at the multipurpose building, and July 4th is our Independence Day celebration. Upcoming meetings, July 21st is Park and Rec Advisory at 5, and the beautification at 6 p.m. Any questions?
any questions? David, who's playing at Independence Day celebration?
The Ray Raddick Band. That will start at, music will start at 6, gates open at 5:30, entertainment on the football field.
Okay.
Fireworks will be 8:45, 9 o'clock. It's usually about a 15 to 20-minute show. So
There'll be
we
food
encourage
trucks?
everyone to come out. Sir?
There will be food trucks?
Food trucks, there will be vendors on site for concessions. Don't have a number right now to give you guys of how many we have. We usually have at least 10 on site.
And the zebra's not leading the class?
Well, we're gonna do our best to have him back, but you know how them wild animals are around all them fireworks. We're afraid they might get scared, so we might give him the night off there. All right, guys, appreciate
you.
it.
The library department, Ms. Donna Bebout.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen, good evening. Well, we've started summer reading. We had our kickoff on Saturday. We had approximately 400 people attend. It was a great day. We had bubble machines going on in the backyard, and they absolutely loved it. That was a really fun time. We do have approximately 450 people signed up for summer reading as of today. And just jumping on in, our May numbers are there. If you look at our programs, they were down this month because we stopped mid-month with our programs in order to get ready for the summer reading. So we had 6 programs in May and with an attendance of 433. We did start back Saturday, and tonight they are over there. In fact, they were finishing up with Family Craft Night. That was tonight at 5 p.m. They made aprons and berets, and the kids came out looking just absolutely adorable. And many of the parents and grandparents were also decorating the aprons with fabric markers. So what I did tonight was just pull a few of our events onto the report just to show you what's going on. So, of course, tonight was the Family Craft Night. Saturday, well, let's go in tomorrow. I don't think I have it on here, but tomorrow, the admin is doing the program. So Tammy and I are going to be in the Storytime room and outside, and we are doing Messy Art Day. All of those activities that your children want to do with paint, Tammy and I are going to do it with the children tomorrow. We are going to do fly swatter painting, where we take a fly swatter and we dip it in the paint and we slap the paper. That will be done outside.
Thankfully.
You're welcome. Yes, our carpet needs to stay clean. We're doing squeegee art. So they're going to take an eyedropper and suck up some paint in there, and then they're going to drop it in drops all across their paper, and then they're going to take a squeegee and they're going to rub down the paper and see what happens. It's a really fun activity. Last painting we're going to do is vehicle painting. No, we're not painting vehicles. We are taking little small vehicles, running it through paint, and then running it across our papers, and hopefully not running across myself and Miss Tammy. So we'll see. But it's going to be a really fun day tomorrow. Oh, and in between that, one thing that parents do not really like for their children to play with at home is Play-Doh. So we're going to have some areas set up with Play-Doh. So a good, fun, messy day tomorrow. Very quickly, we're having the cereal bar on Saturday. That's a family program. We're inviting families to come out from 9:30 to 11, enjoy some different varieties of cereal, and we're going to watch Looney Tunes and just have a really fun Saturday morning, just kind of like we did when we were children. We have Miss Calliope. This is a new entertainer. She's going to come and do a program called Colors and Sounds, Music Abounds. She will also be doing various songs in Spanish for us. Then the International Folk Fest dancers are coming back to the library on Thursday, June the 12th, 10 o'clock in the gallery. It will be the dancers from Puerto Rico. We're excited to have them. On the next page, we're going to have teen Sharpie tie-dye, and you can see Danny there with his tie-dye shirt. That's the sleeve of a shirt. They take fabric markers, and they take Sharpies. I'm sorry, that's why it's called Teen Sharpie. They take Sharpies and they color, and then they spray with alcohol, or they use the eyedropper, and it just really blends all the colors together. Then on June the 13th, on Friday, we start our first Just Draw, Learn to Draw with Kayla, and this is for ages 8 to 12. Then we have Imagination Mask Maker. This is June 14th, and it's fun for all ages, and we are actually having a citizen and a patron of our library to teach this class. Chuck Isbell will be there with several helpers, and they're going to be making masks. Then we have Family Craft tie-dye book bags, exactly what it says. Creekside Saturday with our favorite Miss Alex from Stormwater. She will be there, join us at the creek and finding all sorts of little creatures to show us and teach us all about stormwater. And then on the last day of June, we are having Didgeridoo Down Under. And the didgeridoo is an instrument from Australia that's really cool, and we're looking forward to that. And then I had to put in one from January because I left Miss Mary out. Color Your World with Sea Glass Birds, and that is an adult program. So as you see, we have a little something for everyone, and you still have time to sign up for our summer reading. Get a bag, read books, enter your entries to possibly win a prize. Any questions?
No questions, but you got
Activities.
a busy month.
We do. We have June and July. We'll be very busy.
That's
Wear me
awesome.
out. I go, phew.
If you do need a car to paint, I believe Alderman Coates has a white vehicle that you could use.
Just
Prefer not.
It won't stick on his.
Oh,
Just keep your car far away from the backyard of the library tomorrow.
We'll make sure I do that.
thank you, Ms. Donna.
Thank you.
Moving on to the Finance Department, Ms. Danielle Brown.
So what activities does the finance department have planned for the month?
We're looking for the zebra.
And
Good
money
evening.
tree.
The financial statements are included in your packet. On page 1, you have the general fund. The expenditures exceeded revenue by $97,000. The local sales tax is $68,000 more compared to last year. Tax collection is 101.5% compared to the budget, so that's great. We exceeded the budget for the tax collection. So that compared to last year, we're $200,000 more. The water and sewer fund, the net income year-to-date is $3.2 million. On page 2, it's the cash balances as of April 30th. You'll see the general fund has $34.5 million. The water sewer fund has 12.2, and all the funds collectively have $67.4 million. Page 3 is just comparative data of the general fund and the water sewer fund, the current year compared to last year.
Does anyone have any questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Mr. Danny with the water treatment plant.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board. Hope you've had the opportunity to review our monthly report for the month of May. A couple things worth mentioning. We did have our 2025 sanitary survey where Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation came by, performed their inspection. They were at the water treatment plant for 2 days and spent another day with distribution. We feel very confident with how we scored. We haven't gotten those results yet, but we feel good about how the inspection went, the discussions with the regulators. They seem pleased. We're in pretty constant communication with them with anything they need. So the relationship and the rapport is good amongst the city of Laverne and the regulators. So feel good about that. Also, our 2024 consumer confidence report, you should be able to see the message on your water bill. So that will take you to the electronic copy on the website, which is under the water treatment plant on the right-hand column. Any places that normally get hand deliveries, those will be going out in the next week. We will have some provided here in City Hall at the new Public Works building by water billing and also at the water treatment plant. And if you need a copy, a hard copy, would you like to ask me what the number is?
What's the number?
615-793-6536 to contact the water treatment plant. We can have one mailed to you. Any questions?
Danny, can you talk about the complaint about black water?
Yeah. There's a song, right? I'm not singing.
Thank you.
Thank you for not asking. So we did have one black water complaint. When we went to that location, we tested the hose bib, ran it for a couple minutes, no color discoloration came out. Went to the kitchen sink, ran that, no discoloration. Went to the bathrooms, no discoloration from where they said that they were seeing this discoloration of water. What it could be, or what our, educated guess could be, is either the needing of a flushing of a water heater, or even something dislodging from the insides of the pipe. When the water heater issue was brought up, they said it hadn't been done in 6 to 8 years. So, yeah, sometimes that, they'll give us a call. We have no problem going out there. It more times than not, when it comes to discolored water, if there's no flushing going on. I know Chief said he didn't flush too much water. Thanks for keeping us busy, by the way. So that, and that very well may have been something, depending on where the fire department was in location to the residents.
And then one question, because I know I've had the concern brought to me, and I think the city administrator's even heard as well. Can you speak to PFAS?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I can say that we have completed our UCMR 5 testing. We have completed some special sampling that we have used to kind of gauge our data, or use to see what data we have continuing seasonally along with the UCMR 5 sampling. What we have found is, with some treatment issues or treatment changes, we have been able to lower the numbers that we've seen. Most of those numbers from the very beginning throughout that process have dropped significantly and stay below the maximum contaminant level that the EPA is requiring or has set forth for us to meet. So it's kind of an ongoing process. We're continuing to do that, see what we can do. We're working with the city to make sure that we're making the right choices, and it could lead to something where we have to make a financial decision. However, we're not there at this point.
And with that, has the EPA or pretty much anyone figured out how to fully remove those yet?
No. And the reason for that, the main thing is it's not a banned substance.
Okay.
So it's very difficult to get rid of something if it's not banned before it comes to us. So EPA has put a lot of stress on the water industry and wastewater industry, having us blaming, because I feel we're being blamed for a lot of that, based on a substance that's still legal. So if you go to McDonald's and get a hamburger, you're going to get that on you. So they're requiring us in the next couple years to remove this from the drinking water to limits that are almost feasibly or almost unrealistic, or very much unrealistic, personal opinion, professional opinion, for something that's not illegal or banned at this point. So, and we're only required to meet what leaves the water treatment plant. So anything out in the system hasn't even been tested, isn't discussed by the EPA, isn't discussed at the state level either. So I know that there has been mention of buildup out into the distribution system, and there's no peer-reviewed studies or anything of the sort that would prove that happens. So it's very difficult to kind of bring up an issue of that stature if there's no evidence to support one way or the other.
Any other questions? Thank you, Danny.
Thank you, sir.
Moving on to old business. Second reading ordinance 2025-14, an ordinance of the City of Laverne, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. A public hearing was held just earlier, and no one spoke. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion, oh,
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve from Alderman Coates. Is there a second?
Second, for discussion.
Second from Alderwoman Hobbs. Open it up.
Yeah, so first, I did talk a little bit more in detail with Ms. Brown prior to our meeting tonight, and I did want to withdraw my request for the amendment to the budget as it stands right now. Again, I spoke with Bruce and Danielle at length about this, and they felt the cleanest position, they agreed with you, Alderman Coates, that the cleanest way to do this would be to approve the budget, and then if we're interested, adding this on as an addition, and I agree with that. The next thing, I did want to review the results of the study in a formal setting. If we could bring that up on the screen, please. And so what prompted me to conduct this study was I was approached by a few individuals after we had passed the budget, and they said, hey, I think there's a more urgent need than waiting until the next fiscal year for a city recorder. And so I didn't want to take just the subjective information I was receiving from a few individuals, so I wanted to make something measurable. So I personally contacted every director within the city, asking them to rate on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least urgency, 10 being the greatest immediate need for a city recorder. And you can see here the average was about 7.3. I had talked with 14 individuals. Half of those people gave a rating of 10, meaning they felt was an immediate need for a city recorder. Again, this was not, all of the feedback I received, none of it was negative about, Bruce not having time to do his job. They just felt that he would be more effective, more involved, more hands-on in a leadership role, and it would be to everybody's benefit. So again, I do want to reiterate, Bruce, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. But again, they did feel like taking some of that off of his plate would be beneficial to their needs. So I do want to just kind of reiterate that I spoke with every director, and more than half of them had gave a rating of 10, and only 3 of the participants had given a rating under a 7. So again, Vice Mayor, no, you're the one that says the directors are experts in this field, and so when I'm approached by individuals saying they feel this is a tool that they need to utilize their job better, I do think that there's priority in getting them what they need so they can more effectively do their jobs. And so I do think this is important. I don't think waiting 5 months is a great course of action, because as I spoke with Andrew Patton earlier this week, to get somebody on board hired, we're looking at another 3, potentially 4 months. So if we wait 5 months to vote on this again, 3 to 4 months to actually onboard somebody, we're looking at the next fiscal year.
Then you've also got the training aspect of it.
Correct. So again, I think this is a more urgent need. I'd like to see this on the agenda next month, but again, I'm going with the experts. Danielle saying it would be, and Bruce saying this would be more efficient to pass the budget today and add it to the agenda next month. So I agree.
Okay.
Well, as I said in the workshop, I think this is a legitimate agenda item. I'm the one that suggested 5 months because I was just trying to give some of these newer businesses to bring money in. But we can definitely keep putting it on the agenda until we feel like, you know, whether it, I mean, it's, if you put it on there for next month, which is fine, if we see that that's not going to be possible, then we can, you know, but I was just trying to pick out a happy medium. So, but I think it's a legitimate agenda item.
So if we wanted a clean version of this, which is what I've been hearing, but from even where Bruce and I talked about it last week, the cleaner version would be to pass the budget versus amending it at second reading and then doing a budget amendment next month and going from there, or at a future meeting, whichever one you know, we would decide.
Again, I do want to reiterate, you know, our directors do feel that this is an urgent need, and so I really want to be here to support them. I feel like that's my job. That's what I've been elected to do. And I do want to encourage the board. This was actually the very first time that I reached out to every single director and had a conversation, what was meant to be a 5-minute, give me a number, hang up conversation, and had very fruitful 10, 20-minute conversations with everybody. It took me way longer than I thought it was going to, but I encourage you, if that's not a regular part of your practice, which I'll admit, I've been doing this almost 3 years and it's not been a regular part of my practice, to pick up the phone and call those people. I learned a lot more about their needs, their opinions, in that time. So I encourage you to reach out to everybody. And I mean, prior to this, I had just been reaching out when I had a need, something on the agenda that I needed some advice about. But there's a lot more to the bigger picture and day-to-day operations that we're not directly involved in. So it's interesting to see from their perspective their needs, and so I encourage everybody to do that.
Any other discussion on the budget? Okay. We have a motion to approve. We have a second. Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
I vote aye. Budget passes. Moving on to the consent agenda. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from Vice Mayor No. I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. Moving on to new business, first reading, ordinance 2025-15, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 32, parcels 3.04 and 3.05, and tax map 29, parcels 41.01 and 41.02. Property consists of approximately 76.55 acres. Property located on or near Waldron Road and Blair Road. Current zoning R1 low-density residential zoning district, proposed zoning PDR planned density residential zoning district with a base zone of R3 high-density residential. A public hearing was held this evening and no one spoke. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from Alderman Coates. Is there a second?
Second for discussion.
Second from Alderwoman Hobbs. I'll open it up.
Sorry to be so terribly long-winded this evening. Anyways, I felt like I needed to personally address this because when I ran, my platform was mostly no retail. My platform for running was no retail, especially in the South Waldron corridor. A number of things have changed since I've taken office. More specifically, the land ownership there has come into the Industrial Development Board's hands. One of the main goals to the Industrial Development Board is to create tax revenue, mostly through retail, to provide more community services. So, with that being said, it's highly probable that that area will be retail, and that's not really something that I can do anything about. But what I can do is I can do due diligence by meeting with the developer. I had the opportunity to meet with Land, talk to him a little bit more this afternoon. Want to make special mention, Land took the time to actually meet with a couple of the constituents in this that have been long-term residents of the South Waldron community as well. It was obvious to me that Land is very genuine about his goals for this property. His vision was very clear to me on what he sees for this area. I will say the residents of my personal development, which is adjoining to this property, the Ridge, are all, I won't say all, but for the most part, very excited about the possibility of the eat, work, play concept that they presented here, the walkability to those retail shops. I personally am not, but that's my job is to represent my constituents. And I've gotten a widely positive feedback from the majority of the individuals in the South Waldron community. Some of the long-term residents, like myself, I'm not there quite as long as they have been, but, you know, our vision for that area wasn't retail. But it seems like that's the direction this project is going to go. But again, after meeting with Land and hearing his vision, he seems very genuine about what we're doing, and I think this is a great opportunity. Impressed with the package that he's brought. Again, I've had my experience dealing with developers on that side of town, and so the experience I had with those developers is widely different than the experience I had with Land. And so therefore, I do plan to vote yes this evening.
I do want to add in there, because I actually live in South Waldron. I've been there pretty much since my wife and I got married and moved to Laverne. I've been in talks with residents at Hamlet at the Carruthers, which backs up to the residential portion of this. They have been overwhelmingly excited, as has Summit View subdivision, which is my neighborhood that I live in. They're excited about not having to go to Smyrna or go all the way across town to go grocery shopping, go have dinner. So they're pretty excited about this. Anyone else?
I didn't read all of that. Did they go in there and put some of the things that you had talked about not wanting and stuff? Is that in there? Because I'll be honest, I didn't read all of it.
Yeah, it's up. It's in the updated section.
That's fine. I just,
Page 269, hookah lounge and extended stay hotel are both added in there.
that's fine.
I did also want to address the traffic issue. I say issue because that's the biggest complaint that I've received from my constituents is the traffic issue coming into the Ridge neighborhood. I understand, based on my discussions with Land and what Kyle said at the workshop, that there are safety concerns there. I do think that this is something that the city needs to take a little bit of ownership in connecting the Ridge with such a large attraction. As far as they conducted a traffic study through our area as far as utilizing that information to create four-way stops, perhaps at the bottom of Sweet Maple Knoll, Dobson Knob Trail, talking more about speed bumps. And I know you're going to give me heck, Ronnie, about the speed bumps, but I don't care. The likelihood of my child getting creamed in the middle of Dobson Knob Trail is much more probable than a structure fire next door to me. So I do think the city needs to utilize that information from the traffic study to look at those traffic patterns, especially school times, kids waiting out there to get to Rock Springs Elementary. That definitely needs to be a priority. But I do realize that we're talking years, probably 3 or 4 years, before we're really looking at a connection to Waldron Road that would come out to Dobson Knob Trail. But when that time comes, I do expect us to utilize that information and prevent some safety, or to create some safety barriers there for the community.
Anyone else? Okay. We have a motion to approve in a second. Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
I vote aye. First reading passes. Moving on to number 7, Resolution 2025-13, a resolution of the City of Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare property owned by the city to be surplus to the city's needs and directing disposal of the same. I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alderwoman Haas. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to Mayor and Alderman comments. Alderwoman Hobbs.
I think all I needed to say has been said this evening. Thank you.
You don't want to be long-winded? Alderman Coates.
Just like to say, I appreciate working the rest of the board on getting this budget passed through. I think it's always a big task to go through it all, but I'm pleased. I think the board's pleased the way it's turned out, and let's keep moving the city forward.
Absolutely. Alderman Haas.
I'm looking forward to FY 25-26. It's gonna be some great big things going on. I know, July 25. Anyway, big things are coming, and the city and the community is growing, and we appreciate all the support. Thank you.
Vice Mayor No.
Can we put that on the agenda already for next month, Bruce, and take a look at the financial stuff and at least have it on there?
Yes, sir.
Warm weather's coming up. Everybody make sure their pets have ample water. That's it.
Nothing about senior citizens or your neighbors or, no? Okay.
He had to go there.
Check on the elderly.
So I want to again thank all of our staff members who were involved in the budget process. It was a long process, not just with the meetings the board had, but with what staff had beforehand to work on capital and getting that par down. And then thank you to everybody who's been working as far as on the Twinning Stations development. That's still not finished, but there's movement forward, and hopefully this will be the next great adventure for the city. With that, call this meeting adjourned.